Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us at IIUM Brilliance. Welcome to IIUM Brilliance. This is our second season of the show. But most importantly, we are very honored to actually have invited to our show the people of IIUM community who have significantly contributed to the development of our society through their works. And before we begin, I would like to extend our appreciation to the viewers and crews who because without you guys, there might be no IIUM Brilliance Season 2. And so this week, we have a very special guest whom I very much admire and I love to talk to because she has experienced very unprecedented stories from her travels and her life. And she has served through community services in many places, and mainly on the climate issues of and the indigenous people in Peninsular Malaysia. Not only that, she is also very active from writing numerous articles, journals, and books and on philosophy, education, architecture, and Malay world, and everything in between. She did her first year in architecture under Northern Consortium United Kingdom and CUK. And then she pursued her studies for her Part 1 and Part 2 in Royal Institute of British Architect from School of Architecture. And then she did her Masters of Philosophy and also Philosophy Doctorate in Built Environment in UITM. And also after that she pursued as well into Diploma of Architecture in University of Central England in Birmingham. And since 1998, she has joined IIUM community as the academic staff. That was so early. I was only 2 at that time. And her recent architectural and interior design work is the Masjid Arada Mansara in Arada Mansara district, and this mosque received a Green Building Index Gold certificate for its green and sustainable design approach. So please join me in welcoming our special guest, Associate Professor Dr. Norzalifa binti Zainal Abidin. And thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Norzalifa, and congratulations for your achievement. That's so high.
Thank you so much.
So Dr. Norzalifa, recently there was the issues on climate crisis is so bad, and they got a lot of coverage, and media today is doing a lot of coverage on it. And we can see that these days the youngsters are very much into it too, because they are the citizens of one of the major citizens of social media. And this week, millions of young people took to the streets. The demand for urgent actions to address climate change. And I learned that the indigenous people have long been on the front line in preserving the earth. And you also have personally founded and also advised Jungle School Gombak in Malaysia. Yeah, mashallah, that's so good. But before going to Jungle School Gombak, can you tell us the three main reasons why should the indigenous people be empowered?
Okay, on my part, I feel that for thousands of years, the indigenous is living sustainably. They are actually coexist with the jungle, and they respect the jungle, they respect the animals, and they actually respect all living creatures. So even though some of them are not Muslims, but they are actually the walking sustainable people. And I've learned a lot from them. It's a way of making me be reminded of what Allah is saying in the Quran. It's like you have to be humble, you have to take care of all creatures in the environment, and I've learned a lot from them. And I'm married to one, Major Kalam. He is from Semalai tribe. His that is from his father side, and from the mother side is Minangkabau. So I married him in 2011.
Ah.
So that's how the starting of the points where I'm helping the indigenous in is about telling people how they actually sustain the jungle without over damaging the jungles and the environment.
And when you talk about their awareness, despite not learning anything from the books, holy books, Quran, how did they manage? How did they learn? What was the reason? I mean, what was the reason to their awareness?
I think they were mentioning to me that they believe there is one power who actually governing all, and they didn't understand the concept of Allah, but they do understand one God is actually sustaining all. So the way they actually interact in the forest, in the jungles with the animals, is like they only take just a little bit that what they need and not overly doing it. Like so they feel that they have to coexist with all creatures of Allah. So they understand the meaning of like respecting the semangat, but they are not actually they don't actually some people were saying that they are pagan and they are actually worshipping the semangat. No, they only show respect to semangat because they understand that. So in our world we call it jeans.
Oh yeah.
And they call it semangat. So they are showing respect because they understand they are part of the living creatures that Allah creates. So in some sense it's easier for them to revert to Islam or Christian. So but at times they just decided, okay, there's only one God. So they understand the concept of one God. So I think that is one way for us to get them. I mean, we can learn a lot from them because they are taking care of the river. They are only they are actually respecting the animals. They're not disturbing or damaging the forest, the jungle, and you should see how they actually use all the natural materials, not over abundantly like us. So that's how they do it. So I think the way they do it in a humble manner, respecting others and respecting all the living creatures is one way that we should learn from them.
Yes, exactly. Because today people only know things that is disposable. Just use it and throw it away. Use it and throw it away. That is such a waste. And that is something that we should learn from them.
I think what they did was like when they are creating shelters, it's only like they do shelters for a day, they do shelters for a week when they are entering the jungle, and is the materials that they use is very very sustainable. It's just the bamboo, just the bamboo and the leaves.
That's the bamboo and the leaves, and we should not overly use and take care. We should use everything with respect. So that's us from now, and stay tuned. Wait for us after a commercial break. Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to IIUM Brilliance, exploring ideas to unlock potentials. So now, after we have discussing about the indigenous peoples and how do they respect things and stuff, and your project about jungle school Gombak Malaysia, it is very closely related to the indigenous people.
Oh yes. What we are doing now is we are promoting and empowering the indigenous people, and we are hoping to showcase their talent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot because most of us do not know what indigenous and how they are living. People understand, have heard about orang asli, but they don't really actually know them very well. So it took me some time to get to know them, about 8 years since 2011. And when I was talking to them, they were mentioning that they are getting very, very concerned. The elderly are very concerned about their youngsters not interested in living their cultural heritage because of the modernity. So the misconception about modernization, whereby they are leaving they are leaving the village and going into the city, but they cannot actually sustain themselves in the city. They will come back and they become more and more depressed. And we have a lot of social problems, like the one in Gombak. We have suburban social issues where the youngsters get involved with drugs, all these kind of city urban problems. So we have that problem, and we do have the young ladies get the out of wedlock child. But one good thing about indigenous is they never throw babies. They always adopt their neighbors. If that particular neighbor have a daughter with the out of wedlock, then they will adopt. So the whole village is actually adopting that kid, and everybody is doing their part in taking care. So that's the beautiful part about indigenous that I'm now interacting with them. It's about, in Gombak we have about 9 tribes out of 18 in the whole peninsula Malaysia, and it's so beautiful to see how they can live together, even though they have differences, but they are respecting each other's boundaries. But at the same time, they are helping whenever their neighbor is in need. They are helping each other, and that's the beautiful part of the indigenous people that we should learn and get inspired to. So this is what Jungle School is doing, and in 2014, I have founded Jungle School Gombak Malaysia, and last year we managed to get UNESCO Prof. Charles. He's the one who wrote the Sustainable Development Goal. He came over about 6 hours with us, and he interviewed all the indigenous people, and he says that Jungle School Gombak should be extended throughout the other countries. It's not just in Malaysia. So we get motivated with that, and with the help of our dance director, Tan Sri Zulkifli, I would like to say thank you to Tan Sri because he has opened the gates whereby UNESCO is giving support, and the Jungle School Gombak is now announced as part of the flagship in IIUM, and hopefully more and more people will be more involved to help us to showcase the talents of orang asli.
So are those the only activities, or are those included in the activities, or there are a lot more activities?
Yeah, we
that you
have
offer?
a lot more activities. One of it is like our motto is back to basics. We are teaching people how to survive in the jungle, and we feel that everybody should learn the basics. So what happens if there's no food?
Yes.
And do you able the Mahala cafe is closed, so what happens? So for the indigenous, to them is without the money, it doesn't affect them so much because they can actually go into the jungle and find some food in there with just a parang and with the sumpit, the blowpipe, and they have the macam raga lah, Kan? So
Oh,
it's
bubu.
just that. Not bubu. It's the one like out of rotan. It's like a basket.
To plug things and put it
put things
inside.
inside,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So we do a lot of activities. We are showcasing like this one. We have art and craft, bujam. So this is a way of the women choosing their future men to be. So they weave this, and they actually select their men. So the indigenous have ways to select their men. Okay, and the way they do it is like I think they grow up together, and then when they this is bujam, so they will give to that particular guy. And then have you heard about cincin belarutan?
Oh yes, I have.
Okay, cincin belarutan. So when the guy is saying yes to the women, to the woman that give the bujam. So like for example, you have 5 bujam, and he wants to say yes to one, and he will go into the jungle. He just chop the rotan, and then he will weave the rotan. So this is cincin belarutan. So you can see here. So they go all different parts of the jungle. Okay, they go to show their love to the women, to the lady that they want to marry to. So and another way for the orang asli to see the beauty of the love is actually to look at the intricacy of the design of the ring. So this is Cek Wong tribe.
Cek Wong
Pattern. And this is the Mia pattern. So they have many patterns which reflecting their tribe. So we have 18 tribes in Peninsular Malaysia.
Wow, that's a lot.
So the man will bring the ring to the mother, and the father-in-law will give this. This is kercham puzzle. It's like a test, a puzzle test.
Oh yeah.
So the future son-in-law will have to have like more than 10 levels of complexity. So these different design with different kercham. So this is how they choose their future son-in-law. It's not easy.
And this is all made from rotan.
This is all made. This is mengkuang and this is rotan.
This is also from rotan or mengkuang?
That's from rotan.
Oh yeah, belah
Only
rotan.
cincin belah rotan, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
beautiful. That's from Mang, the tribe of Mang.
Cek Wong.
Cek Wong.
Cek Wong tribe.
Cek Wong tribe. I wonder what else are not included other than marriage, because everyone loves marriage, and
Okay.
everyone has everything to do in marriage, especially orang asli as well. And it is so different from us that we don't know about, and not all media is covering that. And this is something that we should venture into, and we should look up to Jungle School Gombak.
Yeah. So actually, I'm inviting everyone to come and join us. Another way is like we telling people, when you get so stressed up, why don't you come to the jungle and just have a quick activity with the orang asli, and you can have like a bamboo rice, you can have bamboo tea. So they are cooking everything in bamboo, and this is very
awesome.
very youthful. It's their recipe to keep themselves very youthful. So it's very medicinal as well. So it's some research is showing the data that it's actually healing up people when people go into the jungle. So people feel more relaxed. So we are empowering the indigenous youth to help the elderly to do the activities.
Okay. Oh, so we have Resuka and they have Herb Resuka, and now we will stop for a commercial break. Stay tuned. welcome back to IIUM Brilliance. Well, when we mentioned about Jungle School Gombak, there was always something to learn from. And Madam, how do cultures of the indigenous people contribute in preserving the natural environment?
Okay, the way they actually practice in their daily life is actually preserving the nature. We always force them to live in the concrete blockwork houses, but they feel that they need to be part of the jungle, so they want to live in a bamboo house. Because to them, we don't need air conditioning, it's too cold. And for them to, because bamboo has a breathable material characteristic, because it's cooler to live in a bamboo house compared to the concrete house. So we are having this problem whereby the man-made structures are making us not well. And their way is like you need to sweat a bit, but you need the air flowing to the house. And this is one way for them, showing that they understand the concept of sustainability. So they don't, their idea of using bamboo is actually, it's like a life cycle. So whenever they take anything from the forest, they have to give it back. It shouldn't be harming the jungle. So bamboo is not damaging, but plastic do, right? Or even concrete debris. So we have this kind of problem to create balance. But to them, the way of modernity is harming the jungle, because we are destroying the jungle. So we have things that man-made is always not so natural. So they feel that this is their way of life. They should be taking care of the forest, not disturbing the animals, but living it together. So we have this kind of problems, I mean, in modern life. The modern city, the urban concrete, right? The urban jungle. So we have this kind of problems. But I think we should learn from them, and we have to let them live in their ways of the traditional ways, but embracing some knowledge of modernity. There should be a balance, right? To move forward, there should be a balance. And I think this one you can learn a lot from our Quran and the way prophets is teaching us. So the way to practice things is not to waste things, not to waste energy, not to over polluting things, and we need trees. Like what's happening in Brazil, right? So we are losing all our 20% oxygen.
Correct.
And we are the one who's harming the environment. So I feel for the youth, I think this is a high time where you guys are going to be the future leaders, and you are going to be the policy makers. And this is the high time where you should understand the meaning to balance both worlds, the natural and the man-made. And it has to be in balance holistically. So Rahmatan lil Alameen. So how are you going to do that? So it's not just saying it. You have to really show it in action. So one thing about Greta, Greta Thunberg, the one who went to United Nations, she's from Sweden, right? She was mentioning that it's about time to wake up from a dream. We can have big dreams, but what will be our action is waking up from the dream. Take care of the environment. Not just like saying things in social media, but actually doing it in a positive way. So I think she's showing something, like she's speaking out, and I think all of us should be like doing almost the same in a positive manner. So it has to be in a positive. So what Jungle School Gombak is doing is like, we are telling people what the indigenous is practicing, and for us to enforce them into modernity, it's like it's more onto the knowledge, but we have to get them to practice their traditions. So this is a way to support indigenous. And do you know that Batik people is the oldest living DNA in the world? We have found the scientific evidence from Professor Zafarina in USM. She has taken all their blood. She was chasing them all over the jungle, and we have the oldest living DNA in the world. And so, what are we going to do about it? Are we just getting them extinct, not doing anything, or should we be the one who's voicing out our concern about their well-being? So we are the Khalifa. And we are, you guys, the youth. Okay, I'm still feeling young. I'm still feeling young, and we should be the one who's saying things like, okay, let's take care. Let's be part of the living creatures. You know, taking care of the creations of Allah. And I think that is what the concept of Rahmatan lil Alamin. And it's not just saying. It's not just reciting the surah. It's not just memorizing the hadith. It's actually doing it like our Sayyidina Umar. Every single word in the Quran is actually the words of Allah, as an advice to us, because He's the creator, and He knows our limitation, but He keeps on reminding. So the Quran should be the basic book that we should always. It's not just reading it, but to really understand and practice. So to me, this is our way of helping the needy. So because Indigenous nowadays, they are urban poor, they are the needy, and they're actually earning 50 ringgit per month. Do you know that? For
50 ringgit per month?
Yeah, 50 ringgit per month, and still they are very, very. They're very, they are happy. So how do you define happiness? And there's a relaxing, no KPI, no deadlines, just fishing, taking and walking into the jungle.
So the most important thing that we should learn from them is about the sustainability of life. So can you tell me a quick memory that sustains in your memory when you were working with the Indigenous people?
I was admiring the way they sustain themselves. It's like the resilience character. When there are tough things in their life, they are very relaxed. They are very peaceful. And they don't get easily like getting panicking or so. Like what happens when the toll, the price of the toll raise up or the fuel raise up, they just like, okay, it's okay. We just like lead our life in a very peaceful manner. So they don't cry about it. They just like, okay, it's okay. That's the food that we get. So it's like the birds going to get the food, and then they are just putting everything to the one God. So that is the beautiful thing that I've learned from them.
Beautiful thing that keeps in your memory, that sustains there.
It's still sustaining until now. Admiring them because they can be very, very relaxed.
So about the sustainability, I wish we could live in sustainable. We could also follow all of those sustainability by refusing all those things that we think it cannot be biodegradable. It is not biodegradable, and keep on using things that we should also just reuse everything that we already have here. Like I think all the Indigenous people are doing that too. They use everything that they have, and they keep on reusing it until it's broken.
And they are using a natural material. It's not man-made, and it doesn't harm the environment. So that is one thing that we should be learning from them. But they have their challenges, of course. And I think it's not a problem. It's just a matter of changing your mindset, changing your way of life, not harming things, not harming the environment. And I think it's just a matter of getting a water container rather than a mineral bottle. Like the single-use plastic. So everybody is so upset with all the single-use plastic. But what happens to we can see the damage that we are putting to the animals, to the environment. I think everybody, you can see rubbish everywhere.
Yes.
And our earth is not sustaining that.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to do about it? So we have designers, we have inventors. So
Yeah.
you guys are the youth leaders and should be the one inspiring others to do more innovation, taking note of doing great innovation of recycling the plastic or things which are harming the environment, and start to replenish the planet, because we are not sure when it's the end of the world, right?
Yes. So it's the end of this lot, and there is no harm in following them, and no harm in following us too. So stay tuned. Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back, and thank you for your patience, and thank you for being here as well. And since there is no harm in taking care of environment, and there is no harm in reading books as well.
Okay.
So what are the 3 important books for you that you wish everyone is taking that into their hearts as well?
Oh, if you will be asking me 3 books, it's always the Quran. Because I've experienced my 7 stroke. I survived 7 stroke and a coma, and I think that Quran is the best way of referring to. And you always say, so you say 3 books, to me is always the Quran. because I even have encyclopedia of Quran, encyclopedia of Hadith. So being trained in England, so when I join IIUM, I get inspired, inspired in learning all the religious aspects of things, and I feel that will help me to motivate oneself, and myself especially, in improving. So it's always about improving oneself and not judging others. So this is the way I inspire myself, motivate myself, because I feel like whenever I read Quran and understand the meaning of Quran, it's like you feel that Allah is talking to you. Of course, we have to do our salat, and we have to do more of the sunnah, So it has to be like practicing the Quran rather than just reading or memorizing.
Yeah.
So I also learned from Imam Al-Ghazali the idea of inner beauty and outer beauty, whereby it should be balanced for you to understand the concept of beauty. And I managed to translate those ideas into the masjid that I designed, Masjid Arada Mansara, and you should be visiting that mosque.
Yeah, we'd love
It's a
to.
green moss. We use recycled metal. We are using recycled energy, like from the solar. So during daytime, we don't need the lighting because we have the natural lighting. And I did the design under kumpulan Senereka, Sdn Bhd, the one who did Masjid Besi. And we feel that we can actually practice this kind of sustainability in our design, in our life, in the way we respecting the environment. So that's how we do it. Like the little things that we learn and the little things that we practice.
Well, that's very beautiful, because some people like us, if we are so busy, we would neglect Quran and read other books, and we don't really understand. We just read it for the sake of reading. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Norzalifa. Yes, Dr. Norzalifa.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Norzalifa, for joining us. And we would want to take this opportunity to promote your Jungle School Gomba. And this is a message which I will read from them. We are pleased to announce that there will be a light exhibition in Kite Festival on Jungle School Gomba, and featuring dynamic light participants of IIUM, USIM, who are passionate for social empowerment. ACE09 proudly presents their first ever exhibition on Jungle School Gomba to shed light on Indigenous people, lifestyle, and astounding talentry and culture. From beautiful one-of-a-kind weavings and nose flutes to the life struggles and roles in the society, ACE09 is happy to share with you their project. So do drop by their booth to learn all about the School Jungle of Gomba. Jungle School Gomba. And don't forget to watch this video and share it around, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.